Today we're going to talk about how to change the DI bed or the DI filter on a PulseForge 1200 or 1300. So the DI filter, it filters ions out from the water and generally won't need to be changed, but as the machine gets older, 3 or 4 years or something like that, it might be necessary to change that filter. So first thing you're going to want to do is make sure you shut off the tool just so you don't shut down the computer in a bad way. And then you can go ahead and remove power from the machine. You can do that either if you have a disconnect at the wall, you can do that there, or you can disconnect it from the back of the tool. And that just depends on your installation, right? So if you want to disconnect it from the tool, rotate this ring and then pull down, right? So now you know there's no power attached to the machine and it'll be fully discharged in just a few seconds, right? So the next thing that you'll want to do is get a screwdriver, flat head, and then open up these hinges. There should be 3 of them. And when you do, it might be a little bit tight, and so you might, again with the flathead, need to go like that, pull it off. Okay. Set that to the side. Now the part that we want to change is this one. But remember, of course, that there's water in the system, so that's easy to take care of. It keeps the mess down. If you go ahead and take the DI bottle that we sent with the tool, plug it in, and then open the valve there, and open the water vent. So it's not a lot of pressure there, but it'll drain on its own in the course of a few minutes. Now you can see, of course, the reservoir here. So this is the main reservoir where the DI water is kept. We're currently putting it in that bottle. And what you kind of want to do is get that level below there so that when you release the reservoir, it doesn't spill water everywhere. Okay, so you might need to give it 3 or 4 minutes in order to drain into that bottle. So, generally speaking, we don't really recommend changing the DI water. This filter should be able to keep that water stable on its own, right? You shouldn't have to be adding water very often, unless there's like a leak or something that you can find and tighten, or you're just changing the bulbs all the time. But more than likely, you set the water reservoir level and it stays that way for years. Okay, so you can see the water reservoir level has come down. And when you're essentially below that point and you're ready, it should be just rotate. Make sure you turn it to the left and then down. So this is the DI filter. And then you see it says on there 1 year, but since we're not adding a lot of water to it all the time, it doesn't really need to be replaced all that often. So basically get the new one and then set it right back in. Okay, so you can see that it made a nice seal there. And then again, all I had to do was get the level below that point. I didn't need to really completely drain it. And now that I'm ready to put the water back in, all that I need to do is set this bottle up high and just turn it on its side. Sometimes hit the vent. Okay. Yep. Once the water fills the tube, then it'll siphon on its own and refill the reservoir. So again, that'll take a minute or two. You see the level filling back up, and generally you don't really need it to go above max, but there will be a little bit of drop in this level when you restart the system. So you can shut that off, leave it connected for a second, then repower the tool, and then you'll find out exactly if you need to add just a little bit more water. Make sure you put this back on. 2, 3, and now you're ready to restart. So turn on the computer, wait a minute, system boots back up, then you're ready to start the software. From there you can start the pump, you can see if you need to add a little bit more water, and then you should be ready to go.